Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and in this video, I want to go over AMC stock as well as Workhorse because these are two big stocks that have a lot of attention on them because of a short squeeze. And I want to track you guys along the path of both of the stocks and what the outlook for each one is looking like. So the first one we're going to cover is AMC. So you guys know, if you've been following me, I called this one since $2.33. This is going to have a short squeeze and it is continuing to do so. One important thing that I mentioned in that video is the fact that when hedge funds start to realize that they are going to get screwed over and they need to cover their position, what eventually happens is those hedge funds that lost money by shorting it will eventually buy up the same shares to then squeeze other hedge funds to make their money back. That is why this game can get very dangerous. And so when we were looking at AMC and when it was trading at $10, $11, we still had hedge funds still covering here and there, but then came a point where a lot of these hedge funds lost so much money. Those same hedge funds then buy back these shares. They hold on as long as they possibly can. They wait for other hedge funds to short, and while those guys continue to get burned, these hedge funds start recuperating their money. And so when hedge funds feel like they have made back enough of their money, what they end up doing is then selling all their shares and then shorting the position, which then would tank AMC. And so what we're seeing right now is the price is so high in AMC that nobody wants to short it because they know they will get destroyed if they short it. So what they do instead is they buy the shares because they know nobody's going to short it in this environment. Why not just buy the shares? While we buy the shares, the price will just organically keep going up. We could see the price go from 60 today to 120 tomorrow to 200. The numbers can get really big because remember, hedge funds can play both sides. When people think shorting, they immediately think hedge funds. But you got to understand that hedge funds have lost money and they're not going to continue to lose money. So they're going to pick up on where people are lacking. And that is actually joining the side of the retailers, running up the numbers, recuperating their losses, and then eventually being the guys to short the stock when a lot of the money starts to sell out. And so when we're looking at the chart for AMC right now, it actually looks extremely nice. And so the reason why I say that is because if we look at our accumulation over distribution right here, we've actually just been steadily climbing on this, which is extremely bullish to see. That means that most people are actually holding their shares. Nobody is really selling. And if people just continue to buy and hold, it is inevitable because AMC will just continue to go up because there's so much attention on this stock. And the reason why AMC will continue to be a name that people talk about in the near term to even intermediate term is because of the amount of attention on this stock. If I just type in AMC stock here on YouTube, you can just see there's so many videos on AMC. A lot of people are trying to milk the views, so you'll see people making AMC videos every couple hours. No news has come up, but people know that AMC videos are going to get views, so they just continue to make videos. But just remember, the more content on AMC that's out there, the more people are going to be able to access it, which means that a lot of people are going to be familiar with the situation. And if people believe in the concept, there are going to be a lot more retail investors that are going to hop in. And so when you have all these retail investors hopping in, hedge funds aren't really that dumb. So they know retail is jumping in. They have more money than the retail, so they jump in with them. They run the price up and they eventually sell at the top, short like crazy. Because they have so much money, they're able to dump all at once, which will screw over the retail investor, which is why it's very important to understand where the price action is now and where you believe the stock is going to go. So if you think the stock is going to continue to run, just simply buy and hold, set trailing stop losses. For the sake of your bank accounts, guys, don't get greedy. If you think the stock is going to get 1,000 and theoretically, let's say the stock peaks at 950, but you have not taken a single profit because you believe it's going to get to 1,000 and then eventually drops, and then you actually never make money because you think it's going to go back up, but it never goes back up. So have a plan in place. Don't just listen to us YouTubers and random people on the internet about where they believe the price action is going to go. Not a single person knows where the price action is going to go. The only thing that we can tell you is what is happening. We know hedge funds are betting that AMC is going to go higher. There's a lot of money that is flowing into AMC stock. We also know there's been a ton of dilution in AMC stock. So at a point when these big hedge funds dump, there are going to be a ton of outstanding shares on the market, which is going to sink the stock price. So I just wanted to make you guys understand the value in placing trailing stop losses, stop limits, and an exit strategy to your plan. And so if we're just continuing back on AMC, you could just see how far away we are from all of our SMAs. Our RSI is at a 68, but really that doesn't matter too much right now because of the situation we're in. I do believe we will eventually cool down and we will eventually get back near our 50 SMA. I don't know if that's going to happen tomorrow or the next day, but I do know it eventually will. So I just want you guys to understand we are very, very highly elevated in a very unique situation for AMC. I do believe this stock will go above 100, no doubt about that, just because of how many eyes and how much money is being pumped into this stock. And so the second stock that has major short squeeze potential I wanted to cover here is Workhorse, and I want to show you the difference in the two stocks. So we were down here in Workhorse, and the reason why is because if we look at our accumulation over distribution, we've had a lot more people selling than buying. So when we see the stock price go up like this, but people are actually selling, we know there will eventually be a correction in this stock. However, the more this goes up, the more the people are going to continue to short. And so remember, the short interest continues to climb here for Workhorse. It is the most shorted stock. And so what the plan is, the higher the stock price goes, the more people are going to start to short. The lower the price goes, people are playing with fire by shorting a stock that's already so low. And so people like us that understand about the short squeeze are buying up as many shares as we possibly can and just sitting back and holding. All of these hedge funds who have lost money shorting Workhorse will eventually make that money back when the stock goes up. I know it sounds crazy, but you gotta understand, if you own a hedge fund and you lose money on a trade, you need to make that money back somehow. And so if you didn't make it on the way down, you have to make it on the way up. And so eventually the burned hedge funds join the retail investors, and that's when we start seeing very crazy increases in share price. But at a point we do max out, and when we hit that peak, that drop is very quick because of how much distribution there is. And so with AMC, I'm very glad to see that my theory played out. However, I did pull out a lot earlier than I should have, but that is the name of the game. You can't call it all. But because my theory was correct and the hedge funds switched sides, that really puts the pressure up on the stocks, and that creates a lot of buying pressure. And so if I was to use a baseball analogy to compare the two stocks, I would say that AMC is near the 7th inning, whereas Workhorse is probably near the 3rd or the 4th inning. And so right now I have no positions in AMC. I am holding Workhorse. And so if we also look at Workhorse, we are still below 2 of our SMAs, which is pretty big. When we're looking at AMC, we're well above all of them. Our RSI is extremely high. We are at overextended levels, but that is high risk, high reward. So at those levels, we could see jumps of 100% from 60, but we could also see a drop of 50% in a day too. So if you are in the stock, you do realize it is very high risk. It's also very high reward. Whereas Workhorse, in my opinion, has less risk, more reward at the prices that we're currently at the market cap that we're currently trading at. We're under 2 of our SMAs. We are above our 50. If we look at our volume overall, you could see anytime that we see a green bar, it is usually longer than the red bar, which is a great sign to see. And so overall, I'm excited to see how this short squeeze era plays out for all the stocks. A lot of the attention is now on AMC. Again, there's so many people making content on AMC that more and more people are getting aware of the situation. And so to be someone who is extremely early on this short squeeze for AMC, I really hope that a lot of you guys have understood a lot from my videos, understanding why certain things happen and exactly why short squeeze happens. And so those of you guys who have been following me and have learned what a short squeeze is, or you guys have learned how to tell when a stock is going to have a short squeeze, so I just want to thank each and every single one of you who watch my videos, who support me, who comment, who like the videos, who subscribe, because so I know my name being Dummy Boy may be misleading to a lot of investors, but those of you guys who know me and have followed me for a while understand that I'm not going to give you guys that BS advice. I want to try to be as objective as possible because I want to make sure everybody everybody makes money. And so I do try to tell both sides of the story to make sure that people are getting both sides. And so I don't want to just pump up one side and then get everybody going while the other side is just not being talked about or anything in that case. So I just wanted to go over these two stocks because these are two big stocks that are going crazy in the markets right now. And so I wanted to update you guys on this. If you guys enjoyed this update, don't forget to like. We are on the road to 10K subs. So if you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.